Yes guys, welcome back to the channel. The Euro away is back and we are here in Germany to get things kicked off. But we have just landed in Berlin, but it's not going to be our final stop. We're still making our way to Wolfsburg because that is who United will be taking on later today in the Women's Champions League. But we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to head into the station, get into Wolfsburg, enjoy the city, enjoy the game, and yeah, hopefully take back 3 points. So, let's go on a move. Alright, we are almost ready for kickoff. We're about 20 minutes out and we're just outside the Volkswagen Arena, ready for United versus Wolfsburg. Now, for Wolfsburg, it is a team that has a lot of Champions League pedigree. Two-time winners and finalists as recently as the 22-23 season. So you know that for United, this is a test, this is a big test. Probably the biggest test they're going to have so far in this tournament. And it is going to be difficult. I feel like the one thing that Wolfsburg do have is experience. The front two of Berenstein and Alexandra Popp is going to cause us problems, especially if we look at how Vivian Miedema and Bunny Shaw did some damage to us on the weekend. I feel like it is very possible for these two to do the same here tonight. And especially with the wide players that they have, Hoof and Bussy, they're going to cause us problems. And if we are not on top of them from early, like I said, we can see this game get away from ourselves. But for United, I feel like it is good to have a few key players back. Janssen in the back line, obviously that partnership with her and Maya Leticia has looked solid throughout the majority of the season, and I think missing her for a couple games does just mess up the kind of stability for a bit, and maybe that is what caused us to struggle against City. But again today, I think, especially with our Champions League performances, we can go in here and show Europe what our strength is, and that is defensively. The one saving grace for us is that both us and Wolfsburg haven't been in great form as of late. Only one win for both of us in our last three. And like I said, again, here is a chance to just prove ourselves, to show that we belong and probably secure our spot in the next stage of the Champions League if we can get a good result here. But like I said, it is going to be difficult. I feel that all going well, we could probably leave here with a draw. Thinking too, I'm just not too sure with the lack of depth we've had, suffering a few injuries, that we can get, that we can take away 3 points from here. But who knows? Like I said, it's all down to how we show up, and I feel that if we start strong, rattle them defensively, rattle them with our defensive performance, and like I said, get at them. I feel like the likes of Toon, the likes of Fridolina Rolfo, and again battling our experience with theirs, we'll be able to hopefully get at them and get a few goals. But yeah, I'm going to. I think this will be a decent game. And yeah, let's get into the game. Morning guys, it is the morning after the night before, a night in which United sadly see their first loss in the Women's Champions League, and it was brutal as well, a 5-2 loss to Wolfsburg. And yeah, just thinking back to the game, would have actually had a bit of time to discuss it last night, but I was absolutely shattered. But in thinking back to it, I just feel that despite our fast start, that the experience of Wolfsburg showed that they set the tone with their physicality quite early as well, and they're kind of roughing up Jade on that right hand side. On our right hand side, you know, she got a knock in the lead up to their first goal, and I think that kind of rattled us a little bit, you know? And the fact that they went to score 2 more goals after that unanswered, I think that just kind of gave us a bit of a wake-up call that despite our good results and how defensively solid we are, that we are still a little bit away, like, from being able to match these types of teams on a consistent level. You know, their press was quite good, especially for like the first 60 minutes or so. We were not necessarily making mistakes, but I feel like we struggled to truly get out, and we would end up playing a lot of long balls. Whereas for us, in comparison, when we were pressing, it was a bit more hit and miss, where we would have success sometimes, the other times they would play out quite easily. And I think that for them, having that easy access to transition the ball from defence to attack, put us under a lot of pressure. And yeah, like I said, for us, where we didn't necessarily make mistakes in playing out, we did make mistakes nonetheless. And when you're making mistakes against a team like this, they're always going to punish you. That is what they do, you know. But regardless, like I said, I think Wolfsburg were the better team. And for United, it is just more of a, not necessarily something to beat us down with, but to just be aware that to get to where we need to get to, we need to look at games like this and address the problems. One of those problems being our depth and how we utilise our squad, you know. For us, I think going into the start of the season, there was a lot of questions about our depth, especially with playing Champions League football alongside the WSL and the cup competitions. And I think in previous seasons, we didn't necessarily have the depth to cope with just the English competitions alone, especially if we wanted to compete for the WSL. And for us now, I feel like Skinner just needs to utilise that squad better, you know. You have to trust in people, get the rotations going, because you could see that not necessarily that the players were physically tired, but maybe mentally. And that is why we saw a lot of mistakes for a team that is usually defensively solid. So, I don't know. Maybe that's something we can address going forward. Hopefully that is something we can shake off as well, because that's another loss. That's 3 losses in 4 now. And we need to bounce back, or else a few more bad results could ruin our season, you know. At least for us in the Champions League, like I said, it's only our first loss, it's not panic stations. We are still in a good position, and obviously we probably need to get a result in our next game in order for us to not have to worry about going through the playoffs. But again, not in a bad position. I think we need to take credit in the fact that we are where we are. Outside of that though, I am grateful to tick off my first Women's Champions League away day for United. I would have loved to have been at that Madrid game, but sadly you have to prioritise what makes you money, and for now that is my work. But yeah, hopefully I'll be around again as we play Juventus this time next month, and I'm looking forward to it, you know. Hopefully by then we also going back into it with a bit better form. I know there's still a international break to come up as well, so might be a necessary one for us just to regroup and gather our thoughts. So yeah, but anyway, that is going to bring to an end my time here in Wolfsburg. It is absolutely freezing, cannot wait to go home, despite it being a lovely city. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.